It's Madden NFL 24, and the question is, are you ready for some football? It's the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. Coming up next.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one, as it'll be the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Detroit Lions. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, these Detroit Lions, they won over a lot of people with the way they played under Dan Campbell last year. They started 1-6, found their stride, won 8 of their last 10 games, and nearly got into the playoffs.
And when you think back to how they almost got in, that final Sunday night going to Lambeau Field and beating the Packers, that tells you about the culture that's already been established there. All you need now is to watch this team continue to play. They're going to contend, I believe, in this season.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Seahawks, most of the pundits, yourself included, Charles, gave their draft class high marks. And that comes after a year where they struck gold in the 5th round with Tariq Woolen.
And they also struck gold in the offensive line, getting brand new tackles at left and right. Struck gold with a running back who was a big-time runner as a rookie. Yeah, there's something to be said about building through the draft.
The punter, Jack Fox, has us ready to go, and we are underway here at Ford Field. DJ Dallas to return it from his end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. So the Seahawks ready to take over on offense, and it is a first-time Pro Bowler who leads them out, Charles, in his 11th year now, Geno Smith.
When the Seahawks named Smith the starter last season, it gave him an opportunity he wasn't sure he would get again. And then he became one of the best quarterbacks in football and sustained it across a full 17 games, winning Comeback Player of the Year. Saved his career with last season and keeps the Seahawks as true contenders.
They're coming out with a jumbo package to start the drive. A man who played collegiately over at East Lansing, it's Kenneth Walker III. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage and threw him for a loss.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there, and it's 3rd down. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down. Throwing on 3rd down, Smith. Setting up the screen here. This is Walker. And they will stop him short. They get him to the ground at the 27. No first down. They'll get 8, but they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive because that's not enough.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the first down.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away. Fielded at about the 28. No score after 1 on EA Sports. 2nd quarter action now from Detroit, and it's the homestanding Lions who have the football as they finally get their chance on offense. 1st and 10. Now Goff. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
2nd and 10. Now Goff. Looking for right, and he finds him. The Lions Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Could we get a touchdown in this first half after all? It's 1st and 10. Goff now looks to throw. And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 34-yard line.
Now a 2nd and 2. Again, Goff. He'll go right back to St. Brown. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. Goff on 1st down. His throw incomplete.
Yeah, their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Here's 2nd and 10. Goff now to throw. Throw left side, caught by Laporta. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime.
Oh, man. Boy. Let's go do this thing, baby. Bring it.
So on 3rd down, the field goal unit will come out as they'll try to get 3 before half. This just a 35-yard attempt from the left hash. Patterson's kick is good. And we have action on the scoreboard just before halftime. It's 3-0. So a pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
Maybe time for one play on offense. 7 seconds to go in the half as the kick is away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
The Seahawks take over first down and 10. Just the 24-yard line. Let's go get it.
All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we've reached halftime here in Detroit with the Lions out on top. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcoming everyone to our downtown Orlando studios in this EA Sports Halftime Report. If you missed the first half, there's not much to get you caught up on. Just the lone field goal accounting for the entirety of the scoring. A 3-0 game to this point, as both defenses have been strong so far.
These offenses seemingly still back at the hotel for the first half. 3-0 our score as the second half gets underway. Here's Raymond bringing it out. And they'll be backed up to start this drive as he's taken down right around the 15. Back onto the field come the Lions for their second overall drive. And, Charles, we've seen almost 3 full quarters now, and neither offense can really get it going. Neither has hit the end zone, and neither side seemingly can make that big play.
But the game hasn't been devoid of action because these two defenses, they've taken over and they've slugged it out. But I think you're exactly right. We're at that stage of the game now where one of these offenses, if they make a big play, that could be the difference.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups, and they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
A good action to this point in the third quarter. Just a 3-point game. 2nd and 10. Here's Goff. Finds Gibbs on the check down. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. Now a timeout called for by the defense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Tough spot here. 3rd down and 11. Back to throw. Goff. And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on 3rd down, forcing the errant pass. 4th down coming up.
I think he's as fine with that incompletion as a quarterback can be, in all honesty. He avoided his first sack of the game, and he did have a chance of connecting for yardage, just unable to on that throw.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And a fair catch is taken here, a step or 2 inside the 45-yard line. 37 yards on the punt with no return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
Let's go, man.
Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. He's got Thompson here, complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive, 1st down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Now 2nd down and a few inches. Smith's going to throw it. On the slant, here's Smith and Jigba. And it's going to be another 1st down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 14.
That's a nice job right there, partner, because they were able to work down the middle of the field, working in the seams, because I think defensively they were guarding the sidelines, trying to keep them from getting out of bounds. They took what they gave them, and it was successful.
Two timeouts still at their disposal. Here's a 1st and 10 now. Here's Smith. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go. Second down, 8 yards to go. On 2nd down, it's Walker. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
The sound reverberating here in the dome. This is 3rd down. And now the timeout call. So 5 seconds left, and a field goal would send us to overtime. So on now comes the kicker. It's Jason Myers. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to potentially send us to overtime. And his kick is good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. This hasn't exactly been a battle of one touchdown after the other, quite the opposite. But at 3-3 now here in the fourth, it's been an entertaining game considering just 2 field goals.
Yeah, is it really a football game now, or are we watching baseball? Because this feels like a pitcher's duel, doesn't it? Nice and tense on the edge of your seat. Have you been scoring this one? A lot of strikeouts and ground balls in this one.
So overtime on the horizon, barring a wild finish here as the kick's away. And we've got free football, 4 quarters done, and we're dead even. We'll have overtime after this timeout. So the Lions now, they'll get the first crack at things here in overtime as we are back underway. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Detroit's offense ready to take over. And these guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up. Now a timeout called for by the offense. They'll be left with just 1 remaining here at OT. From the 33, here's 2nd and 6. Again, they'll go ground with Montgomery. Shoves him aside. First throw in overtime for Goff. That's going to be caught by Josh Reynolds. Now a timeout called for by the offense. It'll be their 2nd and final timeout, remember, here in overtime. We'll be back. From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd down and 3. Running the jet sweep with Jones. And that is well read there defensively. He was looking to use his speed to get the edge, but they said no way.
It's a loss of 1. Brings up 3rd and 3.
One overtime. How about 2? We need another. We're still even. We'll switch sides and have that second overtime in just a moment. So a big play in this opening drive of overtime. Now looking at a 3rd and 3. From the gun, here's Goff. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. And he is going to have the Lions first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3. Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. Well, they say it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
Here's Goff now on 2nd down. Looking left sideline, incomplete.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. To throw is Goff. And that one to the right side and incomplete. Well done by the defense. They did their job here in overtime.
Boy, did they ever, because now it's 4th and really long. So if you do decide to go for it, people think you might be a little bit on the nut side, don't they? But guess what? If I did decide to go for it, I'd call something deep. I'd throw a deep pass and hope that the defense didn't remember to just knock it down. If they intercept it, it's almost like a great punt. It helps out your defense with field position.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. Well, their defense did the job, got off the field without giving up any points, and now, Charles, all they need here is a field goal, and they get the victory.
Yeah, and this is the way I love overtime. I'm one of those really, really old school guys that like sudden death right from the beginning. Well, we've got it now because any points wins the game. On defense, get a safety, a pick six, fumble return, you can win it as well. So I'm really looking forward to this series and see how both sides play it.
First throw here in overtime for Smith. He's going to get this complete here to Lockett. Able to get this all the way out close to midfield, just what the doctor ordered on play 1 of this drive in crunch time. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Walker now on 1st and 10. Now they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. Now a timeout called for by the offense. That's their second and last timeout here in the overtime session. We'll be back. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Smith to throw. He'll let this go deep for Smith and Jigba. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
They were maybe hoping for a little bit of a back shoulder fade there, and that's a play that's been in vogue the last few years in all aspects of football. But they couldn't get the hook up there.
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Geno now to throw. That's to the right sideline, and it falls incomplete. Another nice job there defensively. They really stymied their passing attempts, and it continues in overtime.
And for them to do that, that means they've had to be cohesive on defense. Pressuring the quarterback space. Good coverage of not just the wide receivers, but the tight end, the running backs when they try and slip out, and making sure they're at the point of attack. When the ball's in the air, they get there and help force some of those incompletions.
And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. So now this one will rest on the right foot of Jason Myers. This to win it in overtime. And he got it. The kick is good. And they have won it here in double overtime. Well, obviously, Charles, this was by no means an offensive track meet. I mean, the defenses were the story in this ball game. But, hey, they got enough points to get the job done. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
You're absolutely right about that, partner. In such a low-scoring game, it completely changes everything you had planned to do out there. Fortunately for them, they got just enough.